one and all. Welcome for the third day of our Nivosh IDC1. Okay? I hope this is the third day, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the third day. Today we will have element 4. Right? Only element 4. Because it's element 4 and 5 are lengthy. So we'll have that each in one day. 4 and 5. Yeah. 4 today and next week is 5. Okay? 5. Do you know the proverb failing to plan is, there is a proverb. Right? There is a proverb. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Planning to fail.
Yeah.
This is a proverb.
It's a proverb. Failing to plan is nothing but you are planning to fail.
Yeah.
Understood? You got some point?
Again.
Failing to plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
This is a
Proverb.
Correct?
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
All of you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
A bad plan, it is better to have a bad plan rather than having no plan. Correct? These two are very, very important things.
We should have a plan unless it is better or good or bad.
At least you should have some plan for anything. Right? If you don't have plan, means you are planning to fail. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. I hope all of you understood this. For example, I have no plan in my career. Let us consider, in my life I have no plan. Okay? What does it mean? I am planning to fail myself in my future.
Yeah, right.
I am aimless. I don't have any plan. Salli let the life take me anywhere, wherever it goes. Let me take. What I am doing, what I am thinking is wrong. I am planning to fail. We should have some plan in each and every aspect. We should have plan. A bad plan is better than not having a plan. At least a vague plan, a bad plan at least. Right? Some plan should be there for anything. Agreed, all of you?
Yeah.
If you don't agree, I am helpless. Right? This is very important thing. Today's element is about planning.
Yes, sir. People were planning something, then come here.
You plan something.
We are planning to get Nivosh.
Very good plan. Diploma, you plan for diploma also.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You should have a plan. If you don't have plan, like for example, if you don't have plan for some construction of house, let us consider. Okay? And you are allowing the people to construct as they wish. Later on, you may feel that okay, kitchen is very near to washroom. Okay, let us change it. Then what is the expenditure? What is the time, effort wasted over there?
Most of the things depends on the plan.
Very important. Planning is, that's the reason. Before construction of anything, you will have a plan.
Yeah.
Correct?
Even going for vacation, we have that.
Plan. Correct?
Yeah.
So, plan is very important. So, today's element is about planning. The previous element we have seen about organizing, right? And now we will see about planning.
Sir, Nivosh diploma from where? From America?
Diploma from UK. Same, Nivosh is from UK.
We can do diploma from here or from America?
Here, from UK.
Diploma,
Yes.
What about the
As per now, Aspire is not yet offering it. Okay. Maybe some other institutes are offering around 10,000 or some 12,000. I don't know.
7,000.
What the time?
Maybe.
7,000.
1 year. It takes 1 year.
From here?
Not here. Other than city.
They have got three units. Unit A, B,
how much time?
and C.
No,
How much time?
I'm asking about
1 year.
classes. Same
That's
like
what-
Saturday, Sunday,
You-
Friday, Friday, or what?
It's up to you. You can take in the evenings, you can take in the Fridays, or you can study on your own. It depends. First, Nibosh IGC is a starting, it's basic.
Yeah.
It is important to go in
It's
the
a foundation. It's a foundation for middle level diploma.
Foundation we can say here. It is not the eligibility criteria, right?
not a
You can do a diploma, international Nibosh international diploma without IGC also.
directly.
Directly you can do. You can do, no problem. But if in IGC many things will cover in such a way that it will be easy for you to
In diploma. Very hard.
Okay?
Diploma
But
very hard.
and you need more effort in diploma. More hard work, more effort, little bit comprehensive, right? You need more effort in that. Okay? Planning. HSM is planning. Health and Safety Management System Planning. So it has got a process. Today we will see planning. In planning we will see about risk assessment also, which is very important. Risk assessment, how to do risk assessments. Okay, and we will see permit to work. Many things. These are the highlights of today. Okay, fine. So these are the outcomes, learning outcomes. After the at the end of the day, you will be able to explain the importance of planning in the context of health and safety management system. You will be able to explain the principles and practice of risk assessment. You will be able to explain the general principles of control and the basic hierarchy. This is also very important.
Hierarchy, what is that mean, sir?
Hierarchy of risk reduction measures. Hierarchy, it's a protocol. Like you can say MD or CEO is on the top. Next will be manager, right? Next will be assistant manager. Next, this is the hierarchy. You can say.
Structure.
Steps. We can say it is order, right? It is order. Top down order.
Who is responsible for?
Who is responsible for? That is a hierarchy. Similarly, we have hierarchy for the control measures. It is very easy to remember. ERIC PD. What is this ERIC PD? We will see. Okay, very important part. Maybe in interviews also they may ask, what is ERIC PD? Right? ERIC PD.
Eric prevents death.
Eliminate. Yeah, we will see exactly. We will see that ERIC PD, and we will see SMART. SMART. These are the highlights of today's thing. Right. Very interesting topic. Very interesting. This planning is very interesting. Right. Planning element. Right. So we will see that hierarchy for control. Next, we will be able to identify the key sources of HS information. Key sources of HS health and safety information, like where can you find this information about health and safety with respect to your job, like COPs, ILO standards, all these things, right? You will be able to explain what factors should be considered when developing and implementing a SSOW for general activities. Safe system of work. Safe system of work we have seen, right? In detail we will see here. What is safe system of work, right? And we will be able to explain about PTW. Permit to work, right? Permit to work systems. Permit to work, have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, permit to work. We will see about permit to work as the last topic. Okay, fine. Importance of planning, as I have given you the proverb, which is very famous, right? You should have plan, right? For each and every aspect. Right. Planning process. It is a process. Planning is just. It's not a matter of half an hour or 1 minute. It is a process, right? Planning process is a system to establish, implement and maintain requirements. It is a system, right? It is a system to establish, to form, to frame, right? to implement and maintain. To implement, to execute and maintain. Maintain the requirements. We can say legal requirements. Right? It is called as the planning process. Successful organizations adopt a planned and systematic approach to policy implementation. The aim is to minimize the risks created by work activities, products and services. It uses hazard identification and risk assessment method to decide priorities and set objectives for hazard elimination and risk reduction. What is the aim of planning process?
Minimize the
Yes. It aims, exactly, it aims to minimize the
Risk.
risks. Risks, what type of risks may be there? It depends on the work activity, right? It depends on the products, it depends on the services. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Right. It aims towards to minimize planning. Why we are going for planning? To minimize the risk, to minimize the different risks which are created by the work activity, people, right? Which are created by the environment, by the product, by the services, all these things. We will try to reduce the risk with the help of planning process. Right. Okay, how will you reduce the risk? By identifying the hazard. By identifying the hazards with respect to the activities, right? And by doing the risk assessments and deciding the priorities. Deciding the priorities to set objectives for hazard, elimination and risk reduction. Hazard elimination, we need to try to eliminate the hazard as much as possible.
So why do we use this uses for this hazard identification?
We use, if we do hazard identification, then only it is able to reduce the risk. In risk assessment, first we will do hazard identification.
First we do minimize
It is the aim. It is the aim of the planning process.
Then what kind of things we are using? Yeah.
Here we minimize risk. Our aim is to minimize the risk, right? So how will you do it? With the help of hazard identification and risk assessment. In risk assessment, you will do the hazard identification also. Okay?
Hazard identification and set the priorities.
Priorities. Set the priorities like which task has to be given more important, which control measure has to be given more important. Priorities. You prioritize the control measures. Like in some places, training might be more important in some activities. In some activities, PPE might be more important. In some activities, prevention might be more important. You prioritize. You give the priorities. Right? You may sometimes more than one control measure may be useful sometimes. So accordingly you need to prioritize. Okay? Right. Specific actions needed to promote a positive health and safety culture and to eliminate and control risks are identified and plans made to fulfill them. The same general points. We plan to reduce the risk, right? Wherever possible, it is planned that risks are eliminated by the careful selection and design of facilities, equipment and processes or minimized by the use of physical control measures. Where not possible, plans for the provision of the safe system of work and PPE are made to control risks. See, all these things, if we will go through after the hierarchy. If we go through this after the hierarchy, you will understand this paragraph clearly. In the hierarchy, the order is Eric PD, eliminate the hazard, reduce the hazard, right? I, isolate, P, prevent contact. So these type of things are there in hierarchy. After seeing this, finally, if no control measure is useful, then You can go for safe system of work and providing PPE. So that's what is meaning. So hence we will see this slide after hierarchy. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The planning process includes the identification of legal requirements, obviously, right, and other requirements that can influence the level of health and safety performance that the organization has to establish. We need to follow the law. We need to follow the legal requirement, in short. Okay? What the law says about that particular activity, that particular standards, we need to follow those things. Right. Setting health and safety objectives. Okay, these are the questions which you can expect. Right. Outline why it is important for an organization to set health and safety targets. Identify. It is given in page number 57. Identify health and safety targets that an organization could set. So these are the things, right? Health and safety, setting health and safety objectives. Setting targets is important because they provide these following things.
Which page? This
57.
questions?
57.
Both.
Yeah, both. Right. They provide. If you set the health and safety objects, right, they provide a target to aim for, therefore, actions and efforts can be focused on attaining the objectives instead of being diverted inefficiently. What does it mean? Like, for example, you might have you might have seen the bull's-eye game,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You hit the target in center, you will try to hit the target at the center.
Yes.
Correct? Just keep it in mind. And now, let us consider if it is here. You will target the center. You will target the center so that it will hit in the center. Your aim will be targeting at the center. Similarly, your aim will be following your health and safety standards, objectives. You frame some objectives, your aim will be following that one. That's mentioned here. Is it clear? Like, you know, the bull's-eye game,
Yeah.
hitting
Yes, the right point.
exactly the center point. You will try to hit the center point, the target.
Yes.
Correct? Similarly, you frame the objectives and you try to follow them. Okay? Target for aim. Target to aim. This is what is important. You target to aim for what? For, therefore, actions and efforts can be focused. You can focus and attain the objectives instead of being diverted inefficiently. So you need to see first of all, right? You need to see, you need to concentrate, you need to focus, then you need to hit. So that you will not divert here and there. Targets equip the participants with a sense of direction. The direction will be there with respect to the objectives. Okay. Targets also provide motivation for all the employees, right? Through structured process and successful achievement in meeting them. General words. Okay. Through structured process. What is the structured process?
So there
Through a proper,
progress or process.
sorry, structured progress. Structure, what does it mean? Structured progress.
Structure of the body.
Body, you will have a certain procedure, a proper procedure. Structure, progress. In order to have progress, you should have a structure. Like, first I will do this, next I will do this, next I will do this, next I will do this. Right? It also provides consistency with the way organizations set other important targets, and it ensures that priorities are made clear. Whatever priorities you are setting, they should be clear. You should go according to that. Okay? Right. Health and safety targets in any company must follow this type of health and safety targets. Like, what is it? Very important one, important slide. 0 accidents for the year. You will set a target as, Okay, this year we will not have any kind of accidents. We will have 0 accidents. This is one target. Number 2, reduce LTIs from the previous year to 75%. For example, in
Labor trade.
2014, there are some accidents, like for example, let us say 15 accidents, lost time injuries are there. LTA, lost time injuries, okay? So let us consider 15 lost time injuries are there in 2014. Now in 2015, I will set a target with respect to health and safety that I will try to reduce it at least 75% in 2015. This is another target.
Increase the ratio comparatively with the previous year.
Increase the ratio, you will try to decrease the LTIs.
Yeah.
This is one more target. Okay. The third, induction training, LTI, lost time injuries. Lost time injuries. Right? So it is, LTI is nothing but it is an injury because of which the time is lost, in short.
And it should be, the patient should be 3 days absent.
Exactly.
Right.
3 days absent. Right? For example, if a person is 3 days absent for the work, it is considered as LTI.
Yeah.
Okay? 3 days absent. If a person is more than absent for more than 3 days, it is considered as serious injury also. It is considered as serious injury also.
Simultaneously or
Continuously. Okay? It is called as LTI. This is second target. These are the targets we need to set in the HS department, health and safety department. And we need to work in this angle. I am just targeting that this time no accidents will be there and I am sitting silently, I am taking no action. It is of no use. I am targeting something, I should work towards that target. So what can be done so that I can make the accidents 0? I want to reduce the LTAs to 75% from when in comparison with the last year. So I need to work out on that. Why those things happened? Why the previous accidents has happened? So I need to work out on that. Just by setting targets and sitting simply, it's of no use. Okay. Number 3, induction training to be done to all employees 100%. Induction trainings are mandatory for all the employees, in their respective fields. Okay. This is another target. Health surveillance to be done to all specific trade employees 100%. Specific trade employees, like people working in confined spaces like manholes, right? People working with paints, who are exposed to paints, chemicals. So we need to, these are all specific target specific trade employees. People working continuously in weathers, outside, outdoors. Because of weather they will also be affected. So these are all specific trade employees. So we need to go for health checkups for them regularly, 100%. This is another target which I am setting. Okay. Regular health and safety audits will be conducted every quarter. Health and safety audits. Why? What is the need for audit? To check whether we are on the right track or not. Every quarter. Every year consists of how many quarters? 4 quarters. 3 months once. Every 3 months. In short, 3 months once you need to go for audits. Health and safety audits. All accidents, incidents, injuries, near misses should be reported and investigated within 48 hours. Accidents, incidents, injuries, near misses, even near misses are to be reported and investigated within 48 hours. What happens if you delay? People may, if you want to ask something about that particular incident, people may slowly forget, or some evidences may not be available, right, of that particular accident. For that reason, we need to finish it off within 48 hours. Effective way of investigation. Okay? Everything should be reported. Even near miss also should be reported. This is another target. Periodic noise monitoring to be conducted every quarter. Noise monitoring also should be conducted. Why? Exactly. Hearing loss. In order to prevent hearing loss, right? Noise monitoring also should be done every 3 months. Whether is it exceeding the noise limits? There are certain noise limits, right? 92 decibels, 100 decibels, 110 decibels. There is a chart. Whether it is exceeding 92 decibels 8 hours, 100 decibels 6 hours, 115 decibel, right? 4 hours. In this way, there is a chart. Whether it is exceeding the permissible limits, PES, right? Permissible exposure limits. If it is exceeding, you need to go for control measures. Either you need to reduce the working time, or you need to provide proper PPE, or try to reduce the noise, or try to isolate. These are the things which we can do. So we need to follow any of these control measures or more than one control measure. And third party inspections to be done for all lifting tools and tackles every 6 months. Third party, we are, I think all of the companies are going for third party certifications. Correct?
Yeah.
What is the need for that? Just for the sake of the health and safety. For the safety of the employees, of the operator, of the environment, of the equipment, of the property damage, for the sake of the property, for all these things we are going for inspections. Okay, if we, let us consider, if the law doesn't ask you to go for third party certifications, no company, I guarantee 90% of the companies will not go for third party inspections. Just because of legal requirement, people are going for the inspections. Correct? Agree?
Right.
I'm sure more than 90% of the companies will not go for the third party inspections. And they will not go for trainings, etc., unless it is legal requirement. But we need to set as a target.
Paper.
Only for the paper, huh? Okay. Right. These are some of the health and safety targets which are to be set, and we have to work in this direction. Clear? Right. Now, setting health and safety objectives, a good example, SMART, as I told you. A good example of a reliable health and safety objective is a SMART objective. SMART. Very important also, right? SMART. What is this S? What is this M? What is this A? What is this R? What is this T? Right? We will see. Objectives should be specific. Right? S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for times. Right? Specific. Objective, health and safety objective should be specific. It should be specific to the thing. Like whatever activity, whatever work you are doing, it should be specific. Right? And measurable. It should be easy to measure. This is the second point. A, achievable. It should be achievable. It is not that you are, that means practical. It should be practicable, achievable. It is not that it is unable to do. Like for example, let us consider the signboards are there, right? They are faded up because of the temperature. Let us consider because of the high temperatures. I will give the person in half an hour. All the signboards in the side should be painted, repainted again. In half an hour, is it possible? Can it be achieved? It is not possible. So achievable. It should be achievable. Right?
Right.
It should be achievable. It should be a practicable. Right? Next, relevant. It should be relevant to the point. Next, it is timely. It should be timely. Timely. It should be timely also.
Timely means
Timely, like timely actions. We'll say generally timely actions are to be taken.
Time to time taken.
Exactly, time to time. Right? We will see that. So these are the SMART objectives. SMART. The objective should be SMART. It should be specific to the task, it should be measurable, it should be easily measurable, right? It should be achievable, it should be relevant, it should be timely.
And measurable?
Sorry?
Measurable?
Measurable, it should be easy to measure.
Regarding what?
Like for example, you are doing risk assessment. Okay? If you are doing risk assessment, if you do one in this week and maybe after 4 weeks you will do another and immediately you will do one more. So it is difficult to measure how many risk assessments you have done in a month. For example, if you go for weekly one risk assessment, monthly you will have 4, in 2 months you will have 8, in 6 months you will have 24, in 1 year you will have 48, easily measurable. Correct? So if something is missing in the count, you can easily identify in some. Fine. Identifying and keeping up to date with legal requirements. Legal requirements, right? Like for example, if there is any change in in law, we need to implement with respect to latest laws or changes, right? So updated with legal requirements. We need to be updated always. We need to check with the legal authorities, right? Any changes have been made or what, right? The organization should have made a commitment to compliance with legislation in the health and safety policy statement. Legislation states the minimum standards that must be achieved by employers and workers alike. Legislation is taken into account when risks are assessed and control measures are established. While doing risk assessment and while implementing control measures, legal requirements, legal aspects are to be followed.
The organization should have made.
Is it clear? Like, for example, you are doing some risk assessment. You cannot do as your own. They should be in the limits, they should be with respect to the legal requirement. It is a legal requirement. Risk assessment is a legal requirement. And control measures, whatever control measure you are following, it should be in the limits of the law. It should be, right? It should be abiding by the law. Yes. Legislation, legal aspects. Legal aspects. The law. Right. Legal requirements. The International Labour Office, ILO, International Labour Organization, established a number of health and safety conventions, recommendations and guidance. Conducting health and safety risk assessment is part of the principles and practices established by these requirements. It is a legal requirement internationally also. Doing risk assessment is a legal requirement internationally also. Okay. We will see here what is hazard, what is risk, and what is risk assessment. Hazard, what is hazard? We have seen that, right? Already we have seen hazard. What exactly is hazard?
Potential to cause harm.
Exactly. Anything which has got the potential to cause harm is called as the hazard. It may be anything. Anything. Air, environment, laptop, any floor, right? Other people, water, as I told you, right? Water, electricity, correct? Anything, it may be anything. Tube light, electricity, this smoke detector, this radiation, anything, it may be anything. Hazard is anything that has got the potential to cause harm. Got it? Right. And risk, what is the meaning of risk? Exactly. It is we have seen just we have touched the risk and then we came back there earlier, right? It is the combination of Likelihood and consequence, correct? We will see in detail. Risk assessment, it is nothing but careful examination of the activities, of the environment, of the people. It is nothing but your risk assessment. Identifying hazards, all these things comes under risk assessment. Okay? Right. Meaning of these things. Give the meaning of the term hazard, page number 16, 2 marks, right? Give the meaning of the term risk, page number 60, 2 marks. Outline reasons why young persons may be at a higher risk of injury in a workplace. We will see all these things. Page number 60 and 70. Using a workplace example, give the meaning of the term risk. The question can be asked like this also, with respect to risk. Okay? Identify the key stages of a risk assessment. Key stages of a risk assessment. This is very important question also. Risk, and it is also useful for your job purpose also. If you are into the health and safety department, risk assessment is very, very important for your jobs also. Okay? Give the meaning of the term hazard and give an example of a workplace hazard, right? Page number 60. Give the meaning of the term risk and give an example of the workplace risk. This is another question, right? So many questions they are asking from this topic. That means this topic has got more weight. Many times, repeatedly they are asking many questions in this. Okay, please focus on this. Okay, hazard. Right? This is the definition of hazard. Something that has the potential to cause harm to people, property, plant or equipment. Hope it's easily understandable. It has got, it is anything or something. It may be something that has the potential to cause harm to people, workers, employees, we can say, a worker or employee, maybe office employee or site employee, anyone. Right? Anyone, not necessarily be the laborers or workers. Anyone. It may be anyone. Like for example, if I am sitting in the office, my chair is not good. If my chair is not good, I am exposed to the ergonomic hazard. My back, after a long time, my back will start aching. The doctor will say you need to undergo some surgery, etc., etc.
Same way.
Same like here. Okay, right? So people generally people consider that hazards are only for the workers or the employees who are working outside. No, anywhere hazards are there. Anywhere we need to identify them. Okay, right? It is something that has a potential to cause harm to the people, to the employees, to the workers, to the laborers, right? To the employees, in short, right? And to the plant, property. Property, whose property? My own property or company property. Okay? Property may be either mine or company. Plant, company, the factory, the equipment, whatever it is, right? The plant or equipment, machinery, tools, anything, right? Even something is causing harm to those things, then that is called as hazard. Okay. Example. This is the example: electricity. Workers working with electrically operated equipment such as an electric drill machine are at risk of exposure to electrical shock. Okay. Clear? People working with drilling machine are exposed to electrical shock. In short, and they may also have some entanglement hazards. If the sleeve is loose, right? Entanglement hazard. What is entanglement? The sleeve getting inside the drill machine and your hand getting injured. Entanglement. That hazard is also there. This is one example. Electricity, electric shock. Right. Risk. Now what is risk? Risk is the likelihood that harm would occur and the severity of a harm that may be realized by one or more hazards. Here, whatever I have told is the same, but here the terminology is different. severity instead of consequence, severity is used here. Realized, implemented, right? Or felt, we can say. Risk is a likelihood that harm would occur. This is one parameter. Likelihood that harm would occur. Likelihood, as I told you, combination of likelihood and consequence, right? Likelihood that a harm would occur, and the severity of a harm that may be realized by one or more hazards. The severity is nothing but the consequence. Likelihood, consequence. Or severity. Severity means the seriousness, the amount of injury,
Consequence.
consequence, in short, consequence. The amount of injury occurred, the seriousness, the severity,
Seriousness. Like,
the amount of how much injury has been
How
occurred.
much?
What is the amount of injury? Is it clear? Right. Now, example for risk. This is clear? Hazard? Is it clear? Hazard. And example hazard? Yeah.
We can write like this also. Risk is the likelihood and consequence that will be realized by one or more hazard. We can write like that also.
Right, you can, no problem. But it should be understandable. Whatever you are writing, it should be understandable. What you are really? It is the combination of
Likelihood
likelihood
and consequence
and
that
consequence
may be realized by one or more hazard.
that may be
Realized by more hazard.
realized by one or more hazards.
We can write like that also.
You can write, but the better way is to write like this. Anyhow, you will get the marks. Maybe one mark might be reduced.
If we have time, we can write like that.
Right?
Potential of losing something properly.
Potential of
Losing something properly.
losing
Something properly.
something of value. Dictionary, is it from Google? Or dictionary meaning
Google.
Google. Right? You can write, no problem. But if they ask for 3 marks or 2 marks, better you like in 2-3 lines. 1 or 2 lines.
It's dependent mark.
Depends on the mark. Okay.
Yeah, I think in the Oxford dictionary also there is two meaning of
Yes. There are many definitions. In 1 line, 1 phrase definition is also there. It's better to go for 2-line answers.
Yeah, Wikipedia gives another meaning and Google gives another meaning.
Yes. Context. Here we are speaking about health and safety. In many other aspects, it may be other definitions. With respect to health and safety, okay.
Yes, sir.
Hazard, we have seen. And example also we have seen. Risk, we have seen. Now risk examples. Workers working on a high level of scaffold without adequate fall protection are at a greater risk of falling and sustaining serious injury, whereas workers working on a lower level of scaffold having adequate fall protection are at a low risk of falling and sustaining serious injury. What does it mean? There are 2 cases here. In this example, 2 different cases are there. In the first case, working at a height, people working at a height on a scaffold. Okay, what is scaffold? Hope all of you know the scaffold. Right? Scaffold is a temporary platform which is elevated, right? Wherein people can work. After finishing of the work, they will dismantle the scaffold.
Yeah.
Right? At a height, at certain height, people working, no fall protection, no proper PPE. Right? That is one case. Another case, people working at low height, very low height, but with full fall protection. They have got full PPE and guardrails, all those things. So these are the 2 different cases. So who are at high risk? The first case or the second case? The first case. The people working in the first case are at high risk, people working in the second case are at low risk. That's what is the example. Risk is high, risk is low. Is it clear? High level of scaffold without adequate fall protection are at greater risk. Whereas here, workers working on a lower level of scaffold having adequate fall protection are at low risk of falling. Greater risk, low risk. Right. Risk assessment. Risk assessment. What is risk assessment? This is the risk assessment. It is an analytical process that identifies hazards, who may be harmed and in what way they may be harmed, and it also takes into account factors that make the risk more likely and those that make it less likely.
Analytical means
Analytical. It is the root word is analysis. Okay, analysis, assessment. You can say again. Judge, decide based on the facts. Right. Risk assessment is an analytical process that identifies hazards, hazard identification, who may be harmed, who are the people who are, those are exposed to this particular hazard, okay, and in what way they might be harmed, how they might be harmed, right? And it also takes into account factors that make the risk more likely and those that makes it less likely. See, there are basically 4 parts in this sentence. First one is, it is analytical process which identifies hazards. This is clear, right? Next part, who are the people who are exposed to that hazard, who might be harmed. Like for example, people are painting here in this room, 2 people are painting in this room, and some people are working outside, some floor work is going on. Let us consider. Here, these two people are exposed to the paint. Who might be harmed? These 2 people. Clear? Who might be harmed? Who may be harmed? And in what way they may be harmed? In what way? Inhalation. They inhale the paint.
Yeah.
In this way they are harmed. Okay? And 3 things are finished. Hazard identification, who might be harmed, how they might be harmed, and the factors that makes the likelihood. These last 2 lines are nothing but your likelihood. What are the chances of the hazard? How likely? How likely they are exposed to the hazard? Whether they are working for 8 hours or only for 1 hour per day with respect to the paint, right? How likely? Whether they are more likely or less likely? That's what it is mentioned. More likely or less likely? Clear now? This is called as the risk assessment.
sir, more likely, less likely means.
That's what I'm telling. More likely or less likely?
More chance to.
Chances, exactly. Chances are more or high. So more or less. Like for example, very environment friendly paint is being used. Then they are less likely exposed to the hazard. And working hours are very less exposed to the hazard, to the paint. Correct? Clear now? Right. This is called as the risk assessment. Distinction between different types of incident. There are certain terms which we need to differentiate. Okay, what are those terms? Like accident, all those things. Distinction between different types of incidents. What is ill health? We all know. Sick. With respect to ill health, with respect to the health, ill health. I am sick because I am unable to go to my work. I am facing some health problem, ill health. I am facing some headache or something, stomach ache, diarrhea, whatever. Ill health. Sick. Injury, accident. Injury, accident. Because of some accident, I am injured. Injury, accident. This is another term. Right? Ill health is different. Injury, accident is different. Okay? Right. Next, dangerous occurrence. Dangerous occurrence. Something has occurred. Some event has taken place. Some dangerous event has taken place. There may be or may not be damage. There may be or may not be harm.
Distinction means what?
Differentiation.
Difference.
Like you need to know what exactly these terms are. right? The differences we can say in short, the differences between these terms. So this is called as dangerous occurrence. Next, near miss, we all know. Near miss, narrow miss. But it has got the potential to cause harm, but it doesn't cause. Near miss, just miss, narrow miss. Okay? Right, just as I told you, while crossing the road, suddenly if some car passes in front of me within with a difference of 1 or 2 inch, near miss. Right? Nothing has happened to me, but it has got the potential to cause harm. If the same thing has occurred next time, maybe I may be hit by the car. Near miss. Okay? And damage only. Damage only. Only damage to the property. Property damage. Okay?
सर डेंजरस अकरेंस बताइएगा.
डेंजरस अकरेंस ऐसी चीज है जिसमें आपको एक इवेंट हुआ है, ठीक है, एक वाकया हुआ है जो खतरनाक है,
लेकिन वो
नुकसान नहीं है, जो बहुत डेंजरस है, बहुत खतरनाक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पर एक जो है हाजर्डस स्पिलेज हो गया, यहाँ पर मिसाल के तौर पे किसी ने दरवाजा खोल के देख लिया और बंद कर दिया फौरन. डेंजरस अकरेंस है. यहाँ पर बहुत खतरे वाली चीज है अंदर, खतरा है अंदर. हाँ, बहुत खतरा है, लेकिन किसी ने अंदर आया नहीं है. डेंजरस अकरेंस. समझ रहे आप लोग? Right. So these are the different terminologies or terms we can say differentiation between the different type of incidents.
It's all incident.
Incidents, exactly. All are categorized under incidents. All are events. All are events or incidents. Okay? Right. According to Frank Bird, there is a triangle. According to his analysis, according to Frank Bird, one what you can say, one analyst we can say, he has analyzed that if there are 600 incidents happened, with no visible injury or damage, you can near accidents or close calls, you can call them as close calls or near accidents also, near miss also, right? In short, remember 600 incidents. 600 incidents has occurred. Among those 600 incidents, 30 will be property damage incidents or accidents. Among those 600, according to Frank Bird, his analysis says if 600 incidents has happened, in those 600 incidents, 30 will be property damage accidents. In those 30 property damage accidents, 10 will be minor injuries. In those 10 minor injuries, 1 will be serious or major injury. According to Frank Bird, according to his analysis. Many analyses are there in the world. Many are there. According to Frank Bird, people consider this. Is it clear? अगर 600 वाकये हुए, उसमें से 30 जो है प्रॉपर्टी डैमेज के होंगे, उसमें से 10 जो है माइनर इंजरी के होंगे, उसमें से 1 जो है सीरियस इंजरी हो सकता है. ठीक है? Is it clear?
Yes.
Right. Composition of risk assessment team. Risk assessment team, right? Who will be involved in risk assessment? This is the team. Team leader, first line manager, worker representative.
This is called like a shift capital.
Team, yes. Worker representative like union leader or some person will be there, right? First line manager, supervisor. Example is supervisor. Team leader from the safety department. So this will be, these are the people who will be involved in doing the risk assessment.